Grandpa Eddie made a movie for Robby. This takes place the first week of August, 2024. These deer are in Grandpa's clover field, out behind his house. It's at night, but Grandpa's camera sees in the dark. This is the next evening. This is a groundhog. It's also known as a gopher. Groundhogs like clover too. Sometimes the holes they dig are in meadows like this. Be careful not to step in their hole. They stand up tall to look over the clover to see if danger is around. Eagles or hawks might swoop down and try to eat them. Foxes, coyotes, and bobcats are all wild animals that catch and eat groundhogs. Aren't you glad you're not a groundhog? Sometimes a whole herd of deer come to visit Grandpa's clover. Can you count them, Robby? The way they wag their tails shows they are happy and not afraid. There are no dangers around here right now. The little girl deer in front is 1 year old. Her back is about as tall as your chest is high. Did you see the buck scratch his neck? Deer don't have fingers and toes. They have hooves instead, which are hard and blunt and split in two. Deer eat 5 meals a day. When they find good food, they sleep by it. This is a mother turkey. Turkeys are big birds when they grow up. They eat clover too, and they also eat all the bugs they can find. Aren't you glad you aren't a turkey? The baby turkeys are called chicks, and they are so small they are hidden in the clover. But if you watch carefully, you'll see them. This is about 20 minutes later. The does have left the field, and now the bucks are all here. That one in the front might be a very small young buck, but the rest you can see they have horns. They're daddy bucks. Actually, the deer's horns are called antlers. Antlers are grown new every year, where horns stay on an animal, like on a goat. It's now almost dark, and the camera has changed to night mode so it can see in the dark. That's why it's kind of gray. The two biggest bucks are on the left-hand side. I count 7 deer. I think they're all bucks. As they feed off to the right, another buck enters the field. That makes 8. When does think there's dangers around, they may snort. Did you hear that? They may also stomp their foot. This sometimes makes the danger move so they can tell what it is. Sometimes it's nothing, and then they go back to feeding. Otherwise, they run away. Here's a doe and a buck behind her. The buck has pretty wide antlers. He's a 5-point. This doe has to scratch her neck. She does it with her back foot. Amazing. Can you scratch your neck with your foot, Robby? I don't think so. I think this is the biggest buck in Grandpa's clover. If Grandpa gets this chance, he's going to make venison out of this deer. That's what you call the meat made from deer. Would you like to see another deer scratch himself? Here we go. Maybe it would be good to have hooves. This is the big buck I'm trying to save for your daddy, Robby. But I think your dad might be afraid of him. Why don't you ask him? That's all. Goodbye, Mr. Groundhog.